are you, and how did you get involved in voice acting?
My name is Ben Wolf. I am 33 years old. I've always dreamt of doing voiceovers. Voice acting, I grew up on a lot of cartoons, a lot of just fun shows here and there. I was always amazed by how people bring these stories to life with just their voices, and like you're watching it and you're like, wow, I these are real characters. These are real people when you know they're fictional.
What were some of the first steps that you took to actually pursue voice acting?
Well, about 2020, the pandemic hit, and I'd been working on trying to get a YouTube channel around. So I decided then was the perfect time to build my own PC and, of course, get the audio equipment. Thankfully, I work at a music gear distributor. We get some discounts. Bought the mic, bought the stand, pop filter, the interface, and just went at it. It took until about last year where it really hit me because I kept saying over and over that I want to do voice acting. This is something I feel passionate about. And here I am, 32. I don't want to. I don't want to one day wake up and be an old man and look back and be like, "Well, yeah, I could have done that."
What types of projects have you had the opportunity to participate in so far? What type of characters have you played?
So far, I've done two games. One is, ironically, neither one is out. I've done fan dubs, which are fun, but what I really enjoy are the original characters. There's a series called Journey of the Cat. You follow different cats in different generations, and eventually there's this giant moment at the end, and it's incredibly beautiful. I came across that from Casting Call Club. All the characters seem interested to me. The story seemed interesting, so I went ahead and tried out for all the male roles except for the villain role because I saw he needed a gruff voice and didn't want to wreck my vocal cords doing it. The project leader loved my auditions, but actually reached out to me and after I saw that the roles were filled and I didn't get it, but she reached out and said that she really loved my auditions and thought I was perfect for another character, which happened to be the main character's brother. One thing I've learned from that is if you're really interested in a project, try out for all the available roles, unless they explicitly tell you that they don't want to. I've actually gotten lucky with a couple of my roles by getting a role that wasn't offered.
Is there a certain type of character that you find yourself auditioning for more often?
I think I go more toward the heroic, upbeat characters. I like to throw a little bit of that dark side into them too, but just something that's exciting, something that I feel like could be inspirational.
What are some of your future goals in terms of growing as a voice actor?
Growing as a voice actor, I think I just want to take on some more varied roles. I was at a convention recently and they had a voice actor booth. I did two lines that were offered there, and I had a lot of fun with a sadistic vampire role.
What's it like stepping inside of one of those voice acting booths at a convention?
Oh, it's a giant step up from my own setup, and it just makes me think, wow, I've first I need to get into a bigger house where I can actually set that up. But no, it was fun. Like it was my first time stepping into an isolation booth, so to speak, and I noticed once you're in there, it's kind of like you're totally focused in on your concentration for the character, where you're going, the voice that you want to give, and the performance you want to give.
How does your home studio setup differ from something that might be in a studio?
Well, currently my setup is an AT2020 microphone. I have a Stedman pop widescreen pop filter, and that's all plugged into a Focusrite Scarlett Solo. I am in my basement, but keep it classy. No, I bought some acoustic paneling, but I have not set that up yet. So what I really have to deal with is with Audacity.
What are some of the steps you take to actually audition for a role?
A lot of it starts from the description that's given. I tend to avoid any roles where the only line given is say something that you think would fit. But if they've got a really good description of the character, kind of voice or voice claim that they want, then I can get an idea of what they're asking for. I look through the lines. I normally give two takes on each, and I try to think, how can I make them vary but still make sense? And then that's really about it.
What are some of the methods you use to actually grow as a voice actor?
I'm actually more learning by talking to people. I think some of the best advice I'd gotten was from a voice actor who actually works at the same company I do. He told me, don't get too attached to any audition. I found myself falling into this trap with a casting call club. I would get shortlisted for a role, get hopeful about it, and be like, oh boy. And then the date would come up and then I was not chosen. That sucks. What he told me is when you audition, do your best you can in that audition. Walk away from that audition happy, whether it's in person or you're sending it in. Walk away from it happy, but then just move on. If you get that part, great. If you don't, well, you've moved on anyway. So, and you didn't have it to begin with. So you could just move on.
Do you have any goals for the future in terms of coaching, private classes, or maybe auditioning for big projects?
To be honest, it's really just all three of those. Like I'd love to get in a position where I could coach, take classes, and collaborate and go for big projects. But I like to just sort of keep it simple. I would just like to make a living at it. Have fun. I don't need to be like the top go to guy, but if people can use my voice and I can make a living at it, that's all I ask.
What advice would you have for people who are getting started or really interested in voice acting?
I would say just go for it. Like the worst thing that holds you back is yourself. Take some acting courses or know some friends who do some acting. Some improv helps as well. Get all the advice that you can. You don't necessarily need the latest and greatest in gear. That's one thing that frightened me when I was first looking into it. I did my own research, and everyone was saying you need this or you need that. But when I looked at those prices, it was astronomical, and I was like, how am I going to afford that? I found out by talking to other voice actors and people I know that you don't necessarily need the latest and greatest. You just need something that works. If you have the urge for it, you have the passion, or you want to see how it is, give it a shot. Like if you come across a voice booth like at a con or have some way to do it, give it a shot. See how you feel about it. If you find it's something you want to do, just audition, audition, audition.
Thank you so much for your time today. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Well, thank you for having me.